at a notebook right now before we get going. It might be helpful to have something you can write on physically or just open up a place in your computer to write. There'll be some journaling we do, there'll be some somatic work, there'll be meditation. I think there's going to be a lot today that will hopefully help you on different levels, like the level of the heart, the level of energy and understanding, also understanding at a mental level that will hopefully then that mental knowing will ease down into your whole body wisdom and your somatic knowing. And then you'll have steps also to use at times when we all need healthy boundaries and to free ourselves from the suffering that comes just from, you know, interacting in the world and being a person. So I'm just gonna go ahead and check if, yep, okay. Uh, I'm making you a co-host, Mark, so you know.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so we're still a couple minutes before start time. I'm going to go ahead and open my chat. I'm hoping everyone can hear me okay. And those of you who were with me on, who are in my mentorship group that were with me on Tuesday, this is going to be a repeat with better audio because I had audio issues on Tuesday. And I learned a lot when I shared this series of teachings in the Tuesday workshop with mentorship group. I learned through sharing that with you guys, and so today might be a little different. And if any of you are interested in joining my mentorship group, we meet Tuesdays from about 1 p.m. California time to 3 p.m. and we practice also together. And it's a lot like this workshop. Every week we get together and we focus on a coaching topic. Sometimes we bring in a little meditation, and we also always take time to answer everyone's questions about their themselves, their family, their coaching practice, whatever's going on. Okay. There's no workbook for today. So I'm going to be sharing a slideshow with you guys, and I'm going to be taking you through the processes. It's going to be a very inner experience. However, whenever you feel called to share with the group, please write in the messages what you're perceiving. You'll be choosing some patterns to kind of identify with. Whatever you wish to share is valuable, and it gives permission to others to share. If you want to keep it private in your own notebook and your own, being, that's perfect too. So whatever works for you today, I really want to honor. There's no having to do this in a certain way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and my slides work for me as a way to pace myself as I guide and to make sure that I go over all the different layers that this workshop is about. And I hope that they help you too. I love sharing my slides. I love making this work available to anyone who wants to share it. And as you guys know, I teach lots of different coaching programs, and you're always welcome into those or to come to these community workshops whenever you can. And I always hope, my intention is that we all benefit and that we all really create this safe, warm space together where we can both evolve in our own right as humans, as spiritual beings, and also we can really hold a frequency and a love for each other that allows that discovery and that growth to happen for everyone. So that's always my intention. Okay, so let's just begin now with a little meditation where we're going to create a boundary bubble around ourselves. So I'm going to take you through breathing, through grounding, through making this boundary bubble, and then also we'll use our imagination to imagine what's in the bubble, but we'll also focus on our open-heartedness and how we can feel this ever-flowing love and divine energy while staying in a beautiful boundary bubble. That is a really wonderful skill. Okay. So let's just begin by just arriving in our bodies. Take a moment to move a little, to maybe wiggle your toes. If you'd like to, close your eyes. And as you breathe, notice what it's like just to be with your breath, following your breath in and following your breath out without changing your breathing pattern at all. Just witness it. Of course, as we witness our breathing tends to teach us something or it tends to change a little. So just notice as you're with your in breath and as you are with your out breath. How does it feel right now to be you? Some of us might want to do a gentle body scan, just noticing what is my body doing? What is my body feeling or saying? And if the body says to move a little or to breathe deeper or to release, to flick your fingers, whatever your body speaks as wisdom to you right now, I encourage you to listen to your body. And it also might be nice to say words of welcome to yourself. How can you welcome yourself a little more into your own practice right now? How are you might be something you want to say inside, or hello. And see if there's a way to give yourself a warm-hearted nickname, or just very simple like, hi, dear one, or hi you. Whatever you wish to say to yourself, but see if you can make it friendly. And letting yourself now sink a little lower in the body to your legs and your feet. As you breathe, imagine that you have incredible roots going down into the earth. These roots might extend from your hips, your seat, your feet, and they go down into this lovely light in the center of the earth. It's a long way down. Just imagining those roots growing down. These are energy roots. These are stabilizing. They bring the light from the earth into your being. So as you breathe, imagine that you are regulating with earth. You're breathing in earth energy and you're breathing out and just allowing yourself to feel that stability, that presence inside. It's okay if you'd rather focus on your heart or your stomach and put a hand there, coming into the center of your body as you breathe and center. And just take a moment now to feel the warmth of your hand on your heart center. Noticing how your hand feels your heart and how your heart feels your hand. Think of something you appreciate about yourself. It could be anything at all, and let that feeling be there in your heart. Allow that appreciation for yourself to gently flow into the space around you. You can stay with one appreciation or more. It can be very simple, just an I am here, and breathing, imagining that you're surrounded by a bubble of light. And this bubble goes out in every direction about arm's length, out to your sides, below you, in front of you, behind you, above you. And just knowing that you can know about this beautiful boundary bubble, you don't have to see it. You might feel it a little bit. You might just say the words, I am surrounded by this beautiful bubble of energy that I am creating. What's it like to talk your way through that? Filling your beautiful boundary bubble with qualities that you value. As you breathe, you might bring in helpful emotions or values like safety, presence, kindness. Whatever comes to you, this is your boundary bubble. There may be colors or textures. You may want to give permission to your hands to move through space as you make your boundary bubble. And just very gently inviting your boundary bubble to be all around you, your sides, below you, behind you, in front of you, above you. And you are well grounded, present within this bubble, and breathing easily. And think of this bubble as a filter. It keeps anything negative out from your energy, like a shield. It also can allow anything good to move from you out into the world as you wish it to. So, allowing only the good in and allowing your good to move out. It's a beautiful bubble. And you're making it in your own way right now. You can make it through your words internally, through feeling it, seeing it, knowing it's there. And we'll just return in a moment to our breath, our hearts, feeling a deep appreciation for yourself, respecting yourself. What's it like to say a kind word to yourself right now? Your bubble is protecting you, and you're giving yourself permission for inner kindness, for being your own best friend. Just letting your own words of kindness resonate as energy through your body. They might be felt as words, as images, as sensation, as temperature, as pattern of movement. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, you did a beautiful job. Hopefully, you feel this protection and this inner closeness. So, I would love it if anyone wants to write a word in the chat about their protective bubble. And I'm gonna share the slides with you again, and we're gonna go to we have a lot today to explore in this workshop. And I'm also always happy to share my slides with you in the future if you want to write to me. So hopefully we're all feeling that inner glow of self-kindness. And that helps when we explore that we also, most of us, I don't want to say everyone, but usually 99% of people at some point have a part of themselves that gets triggered or activated in a negative way. And different teachers have different names for that. It can be the wounded part of one's inner child. It can be the pain body spoken about by Eckhart Tolle. It could be the adaptive child mind spoken about by Terry Real. But all of these point to, those moments when someone we care about for whatever reason, we get almost hijacked into a trigger that we don't want to be in, and maybe we react with anger or resentment or fear or um, some kind of reactive emotion that doesn't feel like our truth, doesn't feel like that resourced, kind inner self. And usually we learn to do this when we're children in order, to take care of ourselves. We might have a part of us that shows up, and this would be more like the adaptive child that Real speaks about, where in order to survive, let's say, I know when I was a child, I had pretty bad dyslexia and probably ADHD too. And one of my techniques for surviving that really well was to escape into my teacher's experience. I would get so close to my teachers and the way I imagined they were feeling that naturally the teachers liked me and they gave me special attention, and this helped with my learning disabilities, and it helped me get through school, which was challenging. And sometimes people, that adaptive child, that part of us that is protecting us, might show up as a comedian in the family to make people laugh, to kind of get over tensions, right? It might show up as a protective parental child who's taking care of the siblings. It might show up as a fighter who's ready to like slay any dragons that are getting in the way, and that way also shift the energy. So that part of us is always really trying its best to help us. But then we grow up, right? And we develop and we have hopefully a lot of experiences. And so most of the time we're being our mature self. And then once in a while, that wounded inner child shows up. And so today we're learning some boundary exercises to help ourselves and those people we support, whether as coaches or friends or parents or spouses, whatever it is, so that we can spread that evolution. So let's look at for a moment your own pain body or wounded inner child. How did it show up for you? Write it down in your journal. How did it help you get through difficult times? Do you notice a sort of pattern from your past? Just a few words. I got funny. I got angry. I escaped into science fiction. What was it for you? There's no right or wrong, just noticing that with kindness. Really take a deep breath as you notice and let out any tension that arises as you notice. Shake it out. Ah. That acting exercise where you're like blowing bubbles? You can do that. Okay. So let's look now at thanking that part of us. What could you say to thank that part of yourself? To let them know you've grown up, you've learned so much, you're doing a great job taking care of yourself and growing. What could you say to thank them and remind them of some of the amazing strengths that you have? Just a few sentences. And let them know you can take care of yourself in new ways. We're just going to give that a minute. And if there's any ways that you know you enjoy taking care of yourself, write it down. I like to take a hot bath. I walk. I sing. I call a friend. Whatever it is, I learn something. I share something. I talk to my plants. Whatever it is. Okay, great job, guys. And if you want to come back to this later, of course you can. So, we're going to do now the next experiential exercise, which involves our imagination. And you've just gotten a little bit closer in a way, in a healthy way, to that inner child and the pattern that you needed to use when you were younger to get through things. So that's there, right? That's like I always put up my hand like that's here. Okay. And now we can bring in a cool experience. So closing your eyes if it's comfortable for you, you don't have to. Take a nice deep breath and feel your heart space, your center, maybe in your belly, your heart, knowing you're surrounded by that beautiful bubble of protection. And imagine yourself taking your inner child, the part of you that does sometimes get triggered or reactive or funny or whatever it is, that coping mechanism you remember, and take them on an incredible vacation. Where would you like to take them? Or just this is a 3 minute experience. Just imagine you're booking the airline or you're getting in the car or you're flying there because you've got your superpowers and you and that younger self are going on this vacation. It could be something your mature self would love, like a spa retreat or scuba diving. It could be something your younger self would love, like Disneyland or um, skiing, whatever it is. And getting you and your younger self there, just imagine you're holding hands with that younger part of you. You're there in your vacation. And in your own way, telling yourself through words like you're creating a story or imagining or feeling, knowing you and your younger self are having a great time. What's it like to just have fun, you and your younger self? Can you imagine the two of you laughing or doing something very active or silly or relaxing? And just keep breathing as you imagine. And notice the joy in your younger self, getting this attention from you, knowing that you can lead and support them. And notice your own kindness towards this younger part of you. You're reparenting yourself right now as you do this, as you become friends with your younger self. You're letting them know you have leadership. And just imagine the two of you on the last day of your vacation, just going for it. Wow, you're going all day, having so much fun. Whatever fun is for the two of you. And give that younger self a high five or a hug and let them know it's time to go back home, get in that vehicle or that plane or your own superpower wings and fly back to the present. Breathe into your heart. Feel that connection with your younger self. Let them know that you've got this now. They can relax. They can be a child. You're in charge. And just notice your breath. Bring back your bubble of light and protection. Say something complimentary to yourself inside. What would you like to say? Give yourself permission to say whatever feels like a true, loving compliment to yourself. It might be an encouragement. You've got this. I care about you. You're doing great. Whatever you'd like to say. Okay, opening your eyes. You did amazing. See if you'd like to write down any notes for yourself or share in the chat with the group. Where can you share with the group where you went on vacation? Were there any skiers? I've got snow on the mind today. And if it was too fast for you, I understand. Sometimes in these group processes, it can move a little quicker and we want to take a little more time. So just know that you can come back to that and write down the vacation you would take your younger self on. Make it very much a creative exercise. It doesn't have to be a kind of woo-woo experience. It can be more like creative writing. Disney World, Maui, Hawaii. Oh, a lot of Hawaii. Wow. I think we were all playing there. Cancun, Tulum. Love that. Wow, but Rome, majority of Hawaii though. I think there was a party going on. Maybe we were all on retreat together in Hawaii. Bali, love that. Norway, Goa. Ooh, relaxing infinity pool. That sounds wonderful. Sometimes an infinity pool, I think, can feel even better than the ocean, because it's just love that. Okay. So let's go back to the process and see what's next. So now we're going to learn a little bit about our experience of having boundaries. Hold on, I loved that image I found, the jumping. So all of us have a healthy center we can return to. And usually, almost always, we have a tendency to either go a little over boundaried, that would look like putting up walls between us and life, us and other people, kind of an armor. I've had many coaching clients say that they become more like ice, or if they imagine it as a metaphor, it'll be a very dense wall around them. And that wall is built to stay safe, like any of these sort of inner mechanisms to survive are. And then others of us, including myself, go under boundaried in order to survive and take care of ourselves. We don't have enough of a boundary. And we take in other people's emotions. We take in other like vibes and moods. And we think if we just kind of connect more, reach out more, let things in more, we'll be okay. And so both sides aren't the healthiest, right? We all want to be in a space of deep self-respect, kindness, and appropriate boundaries. So if our friend is having a really hard day, we can support them without taking in or doing their emotions. If our friend is sharing about their hard day, we don't have to wall off and keep them on the outside. We can be warm-hearted, true, loving, and not afraid of taking in their emotions. So you get what I mean about the over-boundaried or under-boundaried. And so what we're looking for is a healthy middle. Um, And I didn't read my slide. I was speaking more from the way I experience that over boundaried and under boundaried, but the slide might have other words that help you understand. And the next slide too. So in that healthy center, we always have the ability to know that we're in control of our self-respect, of our bodies, of our minds, of our reality. that we can always practice creating a healthier boundary, whether that's dissolving a wall or creating a healthy space for ourselves to not take it in, right? Part of this is just having the intention for it. And at the simplest level, if you're visual, you might imagine it like the actual energy boundary that you make that's healthy. If you're not so visual, you might say to yourself, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. You might remind yourself, I can be open-hearted and have healthy boundaries. I can notice if my boundary wall is too thick and I can make it softer so that my love and my presence can be experienced by others. So that is in each of our control. When we get triggered, it can feel like I chose this slide of a race car because it can feel like too fast and like jarring or like whoosh. And some of us know what it feels in our body to get triggered. It might be in our heart, it might be in our breathing, it might be in tension. So just notice, what is it for you? What does it feel like for you when you get triggered? When you feel maybe um like you're going into that fight response or that wounded part of yourself has come forward and said, I'm gonna argue. I just care about being right. Or that wounded part of you says, "Oh, I'm just gonna love them because that's what I'm good at. Let me bring them into my energy, even if it hurts me." So, what does that feel like in your body? Write down a couple words for yourself. Write that in your notes. When I get triggered, it feels in my body like. And maybe there are words that come to you. That's totally perfect too. So if there are words, body sensations, words are thoughts, inner thoughts. I was talking to someone recently who said to me, I feel it in my feet first. I just want to get up and move away. So that would be like the flee response. Okay, great job. I'm gonna go back to the slides. And we're doing so great, guys. We're only half an hour in. I think we're going to get through all the content within an hour and be able to share if we want to. So the next step, and I learned this from Terry Real, which I really love his way of looking at boundaries as also being tied to self-esteem. So when we are in that trigger, we also have a tendency, like now choose, are you over boundaried, protected, big wall, hard wall, or are you overly porous, taking it in from everywhere without discernment? Which one are you, over boundaried or under boundaried? Write that down. And then we're going to look at one more piece. I'm going to make sure you have time to write that down, what you're feeling about yourself. And this is great because when we know this, we get awareness and we make changes, we make adjustments, and we're more self-loving. And that allows us to be more relational too. So, if you can bring to mind a time in recent times where you got a little triggered, you had that somatic feeling, something was going on, maybe you did nothing about it, maybe you had an argument, no right or wrong here. Now, regarding self-esteem, we might go in our over-boundaried or under-boundaried trigger, we might go above someone or below someone. So when we are over-boundaried, we have that big wall, and often that's called like somebody might, from an attachment theory lens, might say they're avoidant or overly guarded. There's different ways we might talk about that. But over boundaried, and it's okay. We all have some way we get triggered. It's totally okay whether you're over boundaried or under boundaried. It's just learning. It's just learning about oneself. But in that over-boundaried position, we're just talking about that for now. And it might not be you, but you know someone you can think of who goes into that. If you go above, so you're over-boundaried and in the above position, you're over the other person. And then you're dismissive, you're sometimes you're and this is at your worst, remember? This isn't like you, this isn't your true self. This is just your triggered self. You look down on the other. And let me see. Yeah, here's a slide that talks more about this. So when you're over boundaried and above, you're condescending, you might be indifferent, you might be passive aggressive, aloof, you might block them, avoid them. I'm better than you. You're not worthy of my attention. That would be the over boundaried above. And let's all just pretend for a moment we're that. We're very boundaried, we're above, kind of think of the nose being up, smelling something bad, like I'm looking down at you. Okay. Now just you're pretending that you are that position. Reach up. We're bringing in our body. Reach up, grab that top position and bring it down into healthy center. Whew. Yeah, I don't have to be above. I can be centered. I might have an opinion, I might have a triggered reaction, but I can come back to me. I can be kind and have respect for myself and the other person, and then proceed. So that somatic move can be really helpful. And then if a person, not you, let's say your friend, just imagine somebody who is over boundaried, they're walled off, they feel distant, and they're in the below position and over boundaried, they might be quite depressed. They might feel often like a victim. They might feel resigned. They might withdraw. They might say things to themselves or out loud like, I am the worst. I can't do anything. It's a very like powerless position and cut off. So let's just imagine, even if that's not your thing, that's okay. Just imagine over boundaried, sad, depressed. Just let your body show you what that feels like. Can't do it. I'm the worst. You're going under, and I'm just falling down in my chair, guys. So reach down to the ground, lift that that pain body up and say, now you can be centered. I got you. This is my mature self taking care of you. I've got respect for you. I've got respect for other people too. And just feel that centering through that somatic motion of reaching up and bringing it back to center. So I just love this exercise of using our body to shift positions. Now, if we're under boundaried, so if you wrote down that you were under boundaried, and often empaths and helpers are under boundaried, that's what allows you to connect with someone. That's what gives you your superpowers at an emotional level. However, as many people who are helpers and empaths know, when the boundaries become too weak, too porous, then there's burnout, then there's resentment, then there's powerlessness also, and headaches, and the world is too much. There's overstimulation. So we again want to have those healthy boundaries. And the above position of being under boundaried can be, so if you don't have boundaries and you're in the above position, it can be quite violent. That's where real acts of aggression can happen. Somebody who's not an empath, they're just under boundaried and aggressive, they're in a one-up position and they might really lose control. Where the walled off person might have a lot of nasty qualities, but they're in more control. The under boundaried person, often this is where you find real violence, lack of integrity. And the under boundaried below position, underneath, low down on the ground, that person might kind of beg and plead for what they need. They might try to manipulate or just kind of that fawning stress reaction. Please, 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 just take care of me. What can I do to make this better? I'll take it all on myself. Come on, come on. Do you get the vibe of that? So let's just imagine for a second we're under boundaried and we're one up. We're fierce, we're angry, we're volatile. Ooh, reach up. Say, come back to healthy center. Take a deep breath. Respect, respect for self, respect for others. I can be here in my center. Healthy adult. And same with under-boundaried and below, down there on the ground, begging, pleading, feeling less than. Reach up, reach down, sorry, reach down. Bring them up to center. You're okay, I got you. Respect for self, respect for others. Deep breath. And let's just ground our energy here for a moment. You did a lot. You went into all four positions and you came back to center. Because those positions are just momentary or sometimes hours of trigger. But usually emotions change in 90 seconds. So even if an emotion is lingering, we can do a lot by working with our body, our breath, taking a break, and just knowing that we have this ability to create a healthy bubble, not too porous, not too walled off, to be centered, and to be kind to ourselves. When we know how to be kind to ourselves, kindness is much easier to communicate as well. When we have respect for ourselves, respect flows from us in a more compassionate, natural, healthy way. Okay, so hopefully you're doing well right now. Does anyone well, let's just look for a minute at what healthy boundaries allow for us, because that's what we're all trying here to feel into and be that healthy level, which allows us to actually really make things happen for ourselves, to work on projects, to uh, take breaks and care for ourselves, to speak clearly, um, and to be good with our own emotions, to be able to understand and be there for ourselves emotionally. Now, a lot of healthy communicators first need to have healthy boundaries. It's very difficult to be clear and healthy in communication if the boundaries are too hard, too down, too up, too soft. We want those to be healthy. And that allows us also self-love, a closeness with ourselves, being our own best friend. It allows us not to overfunction in our relationships to others. We're able to have that healthy balance of caring for others and caring for ourselves. And also to not control or go into manipulation or force. So I'm sure you're probably, maybe some of you, imagining somebody else who you wish could have healthier boundaries. And that's totally valid. When we do this kind of learning, we sometimes think of others too. Let's come back to us right now, though. If you were there in someone else's sphere for a moment, return to yourself and ask yourself internally, is there something you would like to say yes to more often? It can be really simple. Like for me right now, one of my priorities is lifting weights at the gym a few times a week. So gonna just hold that as what I am what I am saying yes to, what I am protecting. And whatever it is for you, it could be a part of yourself, it could be an activity, it could be a relationship, whatever it is that you're saying yes to and you're holding there as a beautiful gift that is yours. Imagine, use your imagination and creativity now. to make a boundary around that. You've learned to make a boundary around yourself. Now make a beautiful boundary bubble about what you're protecting, what you're saying yes to, what you're prioritizing. Take your time, breathe, and make that beautiful, healthy boundary bubble around what you are prioritizing. That boundary bubble might have moments where you have to return to your center and know your why. Why am I prioritizing this? Why am I protecting this? What does it give me? Let those words come to you if you wish to write them down. And next, we're going to imagine also times when we might have to say no to other things or people in order to protect our yes. So, are there moments in your day where maybe you have to say no to something, no to another activity, no to a person who's asking you to split your attention or your time or your energy? Notice what those healthy no's are. And imagine yourself setting that boundary and putting it into action through your communication with a healthy, open heart, your healthy boundary bubble around yourself, and just imagining what you're prioritizing and how you might have to say no to other things, whether they're people or places or actions, habits. And just take a moment now to write down what a healthy no sounds like for you. And this healthy no is protecting your healthy yes. So take a moment. And just knowing that this healthy no can sound different ways. Sometimes it can be a simple no, I can't. Thanks for asking, I'm busy. Sometimes the no needs to be internal, and it might be I'm saying no to that because I'm saying yes to this. And I always like my body to lead, so I like the motion of no with the hand stopping and the motion of yes coming in. No, yes. No, yes. And that can be really helpful to remember that. Okay, and you can always come back to this question of how do I say no? What am I saying no to so that I can say yes to what I'm prioritizing? And now we're going to look at some steps we can take so that when we do feel triggered, we can bring in clarity and action steps to take care of ourselves and come back to that healthy center. So I'm gonna move forward here a sec. So first, just imagine something in your day to day where maybe you're triggered into an unhealthy yes when really you wanted to have a healthy no. And that could be a totally inner thing, nothing to do with someone else. Just imagine a common time where you might get triggered out of a healthy boundary, out of caring for yourself, out of caring for your values. And say to yourself first, so we're just imagining that time kind of quickly, feel it, know it, maybe say it, this is when I get triggered. And now I'm going to practice saying boundaries, 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 and feel that bubble of protection, of healthy boundary, that that way that you make your boundary bubble. Fill it with the qualities that help you, whether they're healthy emotions, um, whether it's a felt sense, a scene, image, words you use, and feel your heart center open, loving, kind to yourself. Notice if when you get triggered, whether you're over boundaried or under boundaried, do you go up, above, looking down at others, or do you go below, feeling worthless, depressed, or needy? Reach up or down and bring yourself back to center. This is just during your trigger. So if it's down, you reach down, scoop up that little you, say, you're safe now, you're here, we can be centered and whole. We can get through this trigger with our healthy center. Take a deep breath. Same if it's up above, looking down on others. Bring it to the center. Breathe in. I can have my healthy self-respect. I can respect others. And fill your heart with kindness. Come back to that appreciation for something about yourself. Even just in this moment, the way you're evolving and learning. And just knowing that you deserve respect and that if others are involved, everyone deserves respect. Decide now from this place what you need to do to take care of yourself. Everybody's different. Every trigger situation is different. So you might need to take a break if it's a conversation and let the other person know why you're taking a break and when you'll be back. You might need to do a somatic reset. This could be breathing, walking, drinking a glass of water, taking a shower, shaking it out, tapping, whatever it is. What do you like to do? Write it down. What's your somatic reset? Make it easy. Like mine is the figure eight with my hand while I walk, or just saying, take a breath, walk and take a breath. We're bringing ourselves into emotional and nervous system regulation. Remind yourself that you're in control of you, that you are your own best friend. Name what is happening. I know I'm doing a lot here. So let's just somatic reset really quickly. We're just pretending we got triggered. We brought ourselves back into center. We're taking care of ourselves right now. So just imagine that you're breathing or walking or drinking water. Remind yourself that you have self-respect. You're in control of yourself. You're kind to yourself. And now name what's happening. Put words to it. So you're doing this as an imaginary experience. Write it down. Write down in your notes what's happening. Maybe you want to write down my feelings are when this happens, or what I need is. And if your feelings tend to be the same ones over and over again, like anger, look underneath that. What's underneath anger for me? Don't settle for the first emotion you notice. Go underneath. If it's frustration, if it's resentment, if it's fear, what's underneath that? What do you really, gosh, under fear is loneliness, maybe. Under anger is sadness, maybe. What is it for you? This can take a little while to get to. And are there values that you can lean on right now? Clarity, growth, respect, care. Choose one or two that are just your go-to lean-ins. I know that I can say to myself, I respect myself. I know I can say to myself, I love myself. That one's harder for many people than respect. Know that you can say to yourself, I have care here for me. Maybe some words have come up now in your observation that you want to explore later. Just note down a couple words. This doesn't have to be a big paragraph, just a couple words that you want to explore later. And so we just did so much, right? I want to ask you to set an intention for this week and there might be one of these practices you want to play more with. You want to pretend, you want to practice. Maybe it's the boundary bubble. Maybe it's asking yourself, am I on top or below? Am I going over boundaried or under? Maybe you just want to explore that a little more. Or what do I do? Go to that list of what you do when you're triggered that works for you. Or taking yourself, your younger self, on a vacation internally. Any of those practices can be really helpful. And if you have, a big wall of armor, of overprotection, you might want to just take 1 minute a day to work on dissolving that wall in your imagination through your words, like creative writing, or through imagery, whatever works for you. If you're under boundaried, maybe you want to say boundary, 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 and create that healthy boundary every day for a minute. Letting yourself do just a little bit every day at this level of boundaries really has a building effect and will make it much easier when you're not expecting it and that, race car zooms up and you get triggered. And then you're like, okay, I know what to do. I can care for myself. And so we did a lot. Let's take just 2 minutes right now to ground our energy, open our heart, be in our own beautiful protective bubble, and then we'll talk together. But let's just take a moment. So I like to put hands to my heart when I do this. So focus for just a minute on your feet, your seat, and your heart. And breathe. As you breathe out, let that healthy glow of your boundary bubble surround you. Breathing in, feeling your heart-centered connection. Breathing out, letting that glow of the boundary bubble surround you. Breathing in, heart connection, respect, warmth. So go at your own pace, just like a gentle flow. The out breath helps create that bubble around you. The in breath connects you with your open-heartedness. And in this way, you can have healthy boundaries with an open heart, grounded and present in your mature self. And don't worry about it if you change the breath cycle. You might just want to focus on the words. I'm heart-centered. I'm present with myself. I have a healthy boundary. Whatever the words are that work for you. And letting go of the words, return to the sensation of your hand on your heart. That warm regard. Feel the hand from inside of your chest. Feel the warmth of your body from your hand. And let your grounding cords, like your root system, go down into Mother Earth, feeling supported, present, stable. And from here, if you wish to set an intention for yourself, if you wish to send a prayer, a wish for others out into the world from this healthy, loving, yet protected space, take care of yourself and feel free also to wish well for others. It can be very simple, like may all people everywhere be loved, be safe, be healthy. Okay, and when you're ready, opening your eyes. And good job, everybody. Would anyone like to share? We just did so much in an hour, you know? I know it can take a little while to want to share. Suzanne, was that a hand? Yeah, that was a real hand. I like that. Okay. I'm unmuting you. Is it unmuting?
Yeah. Mhm.
Great,
I
great.
think we both did it at the same time. It's
Yeah.
so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I'm
Yeah.
just wow.
Nice doing these weekend workshops.
Well, I just joined in this last week, 2 weeks, actually, probably about 3 weeks, but the last 2 weeks specifically, God has been calling me to be quiet. And in this quietness,
Mm.
it's all about boundaries. And you think you got a full hold on boundaries, but it's a constant, it's a lifetime. So thank you for that reminder because what you gave to me today is a practice realizing that I need to be less cerebral and put my practice in action. And that is exactly what I'm going to do after this.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing and
Mm,
being here. It's so good to see you
you too. I'll see you soon.
soon. And Anna, hi Anna. I don't know if you want to be in video or just audio. You let me know. I unmuted you.
Um,
Hi.
I'm going to be bold and show myself.
Thank you. We all thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this gift today. I just wanted to say when you talked about snow, yeah. And
You've got some.
yes, we have some. And I'm here in the middle. I'm in Laurel, Maryland, so I'm in between a lot of things that are happening. I'm so excited to get on
I
today.
grew up in Bethesda, Maryland. So,
You're not there. Yes, Montgomery County.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
um, this was what I needed. I'm a somatic practitioner and I'm getting back into my practice and trying to, do some things. So just each one of them were like so on point and so filling. Um, I was going to say what I wrote to the little girl because I'm trying to do more inner child work. So I said, I thank you, the part of myself that helped me take on leadership roles to be seen and heard when I felt scared and abandoned. So that thing, like some teardrops rolled down. I was like, oh, I thought I had worked on this. But the work is, like you always say, needs to keep constantly being done. I love the bubble. I'm going to do that every
Good,
day. I need to do more of that. I felt so protected and safe inside of the bubble. So
good.
thank you for giving me that gift
You.
today.
And thank you for sharing with us. It really gives us all courage, I think, when we can step forward that way. Thank you, Anna.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
And anyone else want to share or have a question? Whatever you'd like to share with the group. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. How are
Oh,
you?
awesome. Um, so I've been working on this inner child work for the last few months because I was in a meditation, I don't know, maybe in November, and you invited us to bring a younger version of ourselves to a park bench. And that like launched multiple episodes of me meeting with younger versions of myself over the last few months. And I cannot tell you how freeing and how life-changing that has been. And so for me today, it was very easy to go into meeting with a younger version. And so my 10-year-old self showed up. And I actually went to Disney World when I was 10 years old, and I had this experience where I was playing with a mustard packet and it squirted all over my sister. And my father got angry, right? Like he was furious. And so I just remember like feeling very like trampled on and I mean I could put this to words now, but my respect was trampled on during that time period, right? And I was 10 years old and I didn't have a voice for myself. I couldn't, you can't sort of like argue back. You just sort of take it. And so I realize now that was a moment when my own ability to have boundaries was sort of trampled on, right? Because what we accept sort of comes out. It's kind of what we're willing to give. And so anyway, I in this experience at Disney World, it was like it was rewritten, right? Like it's really interesting. Every time I go into these experiences, it's like God's rewriting the entire experience, or at least my version of the experience, right? And so in this vision earlier, it was me and 10-year-old self just having a wonderful time at Disney World. Like we just rewrote that entire experience. We were playing, we were doing all the fun stuff, like we just did it all. And so now that whole experience has a completely different connotation, whereas before, like that was always the story, right? The mustard story was like
Big, yeah.
that was my whole experience. And now it's just completely rewritten. And so I want to thank you for that. And my ability to kind of be able to rewrite these experiences is like off the charts. And I see how that experience is now interfering with my boundaries that I have around time and money. So I'll give you an example. I've been kind of working on rethinking money and like recasting my entire relationship with money, and that's been really good. So that's a whole nother thing. But
But that's so
it-
cool that this is
yes.
leading to that,
Oh my gosh,
empowering,
Magali, it's
because like
like
money is power for many
it,
people at a certain healthy power.
yes. Well, I
Yeah.
came to the realization that money was like the key of relational value to me, right? Like the value of relationships was based on money. Like, did they have money? Could I make money? Like, what was the value? Money became sort of like the power indicator in like all the relationships. And so I'm rewriting that where love is the relational value instead of money, right?
I love that. I
Oh
love that.
my gosh, it's so good. And
Yeah.
so I'm really like leaning into that and putting boundaries around that and but somebody called me the other day, and so Wednesday nights is after 6 o'clock. That's family time, dinner time, it's game night. Like I want to have a strong boundary around that. Somebody called me the other day and said, "Hey, we'll pay you $400 for an hour of being in a group survey. Like you're a perfect candidate." And it's at 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. And but I was
Mhm.
like, $400, that's so easy, right? Easy money.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said yes. And so now ever since I said yes, I've been saying, I just realized this morning in this, like I took the boundary away. Like the boundary I trampled on my own boundary there by saying yes, because I let money be the key to the value of that time and the relation there. And so now I need to go back and say, no, I
Well,
can't
okay,
do
let
this.
me offer you another piece I think that is really cool, and that is flexibility.
That's fair.
So, like
Yes.
maybe there's a way you totally honor the family time and are able to make that money by respectfully moving it to
Yes.
Thursday night that week
That
or
can be
whatever
true.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can very much be
But
true.
I
Thank you.
respect you, whatever you decide, and I really respect your decision
Thank
to
you.
look at love as being the central,
Yes.
whatever, however you
Yeah.
feel
And
it,
it's
like
so
that
like,
that's what you're protecting. That's gorgeous.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Just going through this exercise made me realize that I did it, right? And so now I have to go and make a
Yeah.
decision about whether I want to be flexible or shift that
Yeah.
boundary. But
Yeah.
now it's come into my awareness and my consciousness
Yeah.
like, hey, this
Yeah.
is a boundary you want,
Yeah.
but yet your action is saying something different. And so now I
Yeah.
have to go
So one
evaluate.
other thing that showed up for me as you were talking that I don't know if you feel this. This might be a little bit more on the little more mystically out there. I don't know where everyone's at who's here, but one of the things that I feel happens when we go and we do this rewriting and this like reparenting of ourselves. Maybe I just like to imagine it could happen. I don't know, obviously, but I imagine that younger you actually, when in the timeline of your life, actually gets benefit back then.
Yes.
I like to think that that is happening.
Yes, we just had in the 5 minutes we were doing this, I spent a whole day at Disney World with my current self and my 10-year-old self, and she just
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
blast, right? She had
yeah,
a great
yeah,
time. She's
yeah.
probably still there playing, right?
But what I mean is that I think maybe we are actually making a difference to the real child we were. We just
Yeah,
don't know exactly how that energy makes that difference, but I like to believe that it does.
yeah,
So
I agree.
thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you for
Magali.
sharing. Okay, I love that I'm seeing all these hands up. It's great. Diane, hi. Are you there?
Hi, Magali.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having today's session. I really, really needed it. Been kind of sick, and I've been doom scrolling on what's happening in the country, and
Yeah,
I just didn't want to meditate alone today. So thank you,
yeah.
and thanks for the discussion around money, because I realized this week that money has to do with um, like attachment issues, because my mother lost her father and they lost the wealth. So that was together, hand in hand, abandonment, lonely, money, something like that. I'm still trying to work on it. But what I realized today is around money is the scenario I chose was asking for an increase in my fees with a company I've been contracting with
Mm-hmm.
and or for, and they said no. And so I could feel myself up here, I could feel myself down there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like, right, there's no
yeah.
this.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So,
So it was just really helpful because I did ask for a meeting this week. And I think when I think about even saying that, I'm way down there. Like I'm really scared,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
scared to ask. And then just, I guess, up here, I'm realizing, well, I need to find other streams of income.
Yeah, so it could be that I'll just throw out a suggestion, ignore it if it doesn't work
Please.
for you. I know you're so well resourced inside. Like I really respect you, Diane. So when you go to your center, see if there's certain values or qualities that give you more healthy power in the interaction that you're entering into. What would those values be? Often, when we're having a hard interaction like that, it can be first clarity or curiosity or self respect, respecting them also, but so that you're coming from that center of interaction.
Got it.
Um,
It's funny. The first thing I thought of was anger. I know it's not a value, but that's just,
yeah, well, that might be the emotion that comes up, right? When
yeah.
your boundary is not being respected, because it could be that by not paying you what you know you're worth, that is, but that we make all kinds of decisions with work.
I'm also realizing as we're talking that there's the inner boundary. So, for example, I do grief work at different companies and I'm bilingual. And when I have to speak Spanish in an assignment, I know I'm doing double duty,
Hmm.
presenting in English and Spanish at the same
Yeah,
time,
a
that
lot.
sort of thing. And just a lot of trauma with people that
Yeah,
I work with.
yeah.
And so, what I'm getting right now is the boundary is, am I respecting and honoring myself? And how do I really care for myself in situations like that so I don't feel depleted and I want to put a money value on it versus,
Hmm.
really honoring when I do that work, right?
Yeah,
And really, what is that? How can I replenish,
yeah,
right? So it's the inner boundary too, if that
yeah.
makes sense.
Absolutely. And having those rituals that we can create for ourselves to do that inner, you know, that inner preparation and that afterwards processing. And as you were talking, I was just remembering your connection with trees for whatever reason. Whenever I talk to you, I think trees.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah, be
Magali.
well and write to me. I'd love to hear from you. How
Absolutely.
okay. Bye
Thank you.
bye. And Adrian, good to see you. How are you? And let's see if you're still there. Great.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Good.
I yeah, I was kind of on the go, but I just feel when something calls me, you're curious because there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
I follow that intuition, and your space is one of generosity. I really feel that. So, yeah, sometimes with these things, it's very strict and okay, top of the hour, but
Uh-huh.
I feel a lot of generosity. And what I want to share as a former athlete, Olympian, I found that, in terms of where you go, I've gone where I've shut down and I've been too open, you know. So
Mhm.
I've gone to both, and in the space of hockey, what I did was like coaches cross boundaries often, you know, especially if you were a sensitive person
Yeah, yeah,
like myself. And so you go, what's wrong with me? You know, but I realize today that that energy world is something that I can really bring to other athletes who might be suffering with these things. So
yeah,
love the, you know, being versatile. Like,
yeah,
okay, I can um, I can, you know, build that bubble, feel strong, or I can be flexible. There's so many different ways, but that made me think of my children, and I'm glad I got on. Just brings a lot more clarity to boundaries. So
Thank
thank
you.
you
And
for
thank
this
you for sharing.
space.
You know, as you shared, you gave me an idea to next workshop or workshop in the future, we should explore repairing ourselves
Uh,
after we've had a boundary intrusion.
yeah.
Because obviously
Mm,
we're relating to other people. And I imagine like if someone has a coach who, maybe their intention is really to be helpful, but they do somehow penetrate that bubble in a way that's painful for the coachee. Um,
mhm,
it would be really good to help ourselves and other people be able to repair after that.
mm. Makes me think
So,
of being open, you know, when we're open and we share vulnerably.
yeah,
Usually that authenticity is well received in most cases.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, somatic work is something that I think I need to explore because it
yeah.
um, yeah,
Well,
I
also as
didn't
an
think.
athlete, you're probably pretty well, like, I don't know, you know your body, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm pretty tuned in. I
Tuned in,
used my
so it's a
body.
good
Yeah,
good place to, yeah, to do more of that deep work. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Great.
likewise.
And Amy, hi.
Hi there.
Hi. What a
Thank
beautiful
you.
rose. Oh, I love it.
Uh, thank you. I, my daughter is mad at me.
Mhm,
She's 24
mhm,
and she is basically kind of cutting me off.
mhm.
I was traveling the world.
Yeah.
She flew to New Zealand to be with me on Mother's Day 2 weeks, two Mother's Day ago, and we had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
Then I was in Bali doing a training for breath work,
Uh,
and somehow she got the confidence to leave her boyfriend. But I wasn't there for her because I was about to lead for 40 people,
mhm.
and I had to have my own healthy boundary.
Yeah.
And but somehow she said in her mind like that I just wasn't there for her. And I
Yeah.
think it was a moment in time that shifted how
Mhm,
she perceived me to be there for her.
mhm, mhm.
And I always thought that, oh, I'm just here anytime you call, I'm available. But in her perspective, it wasn't that way. And I know I don't want to go into too much of this, but your work today, it showed me she's definitely in the upper. She and her father, who I'm divorced from, go to
Uh-huh.
be very arrogant.
Uh-huh.
And that when I get to I'm the opposite, I go to be very, um lack of boundaries.
Yeah.
And with her, probably have been like the pleading, like
Mhm.
waiting, pleading. Um, but also anyway, I don't want to, I know we're kind of towards the end of timing, but I was wondering, do you have any advice when, when there's a trigger and when somebody's being very arrogant?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hard for me to go, like, I get triggered just by the arrogance, and it's so
Right.
demeaning.
Right. Right.
Do you have any perspective? Like, because I know it's like to be as compassionate, but do you have any advice, like what you say to yourself
Yep.
internally
Yep.
that can
Yeah.
be good to hold the space.
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes we do need to take a break. So it's really healthy and good to be able to, if we're getting triggered and they're in a whatever position to us, but we're feeling that dysregulation, to say, this is important. I'm going to take 10 minutes and come back to talk with you from a more centered place. You're then setting a boundary. You're not just letting them do their thing and you react in your normal way. You're taking a break. Now, if we can't do that, like whatever, you're in the car with someone or for some reason, you can also do the boundary directions internally. Remind yourself of your self respect. Come up, if someone is very one up, see if there's language you can prepare for yourself that puts off any decisions, that just acknowledges, thank you for sharing. I'll take that into consideration. Sometimes that type of communication is a respectful boundary, that you're going to wait until later you're out of your trigger. Does that help at all?
Yeah, just having a thank you for sharing. I'll take that into consideration as something right there to say.
Yeah.
That would definitely
I used
be
to work with
something.
someone where that was the dynamic quite a lot, and I had 10 phrases on my phone I could go to and choose from. And as soon as I started doing that, it was with respect I did it. They stopped pushing my boundaries so much. They weren't getting my normal, let me rush in and take care of that response. The other thing when you were sharing about your daughter, that of course I don't know if this is true or not, but one of the things I imagined was, wow, she did maybe get a learning from you, even if she's not responding to it well. Like, as mothers, of course, we don't want them to push us away or do any of that. But she did get, when you said, I do need to teach, I have to keep my focus here, that was a learning she received. She may not realize the benefit of that until she's older, but it sounds like that was a little different than the way you normally are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think it triggered her abandonment, from the past,
Yeah.
perhaps. And anyway, it goes deeper. I don't know if there's a way to be able to
Yeah.
talk with you. There's,
Yeah, you can
I'd
write
love
to
I'd
me.
love
You
to
can
be able
write
to get
to me for sure.
a
Yeah, I'm going to send
recording
out
of
a
this.
record. I'm going to send out a recording and write to support at Coaching Institute, and we can talk more. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Be well. Thank you for sharing. All right. Anna Maria, hello. I'm going to unmute you here.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. I maybe okay. So, first of all, thank you so much. Um, I, no matter how much we know about psychology or how much theory, your teaching today really helped me. Um, I was with my mom like for the longest period of time that I've been in many years, like for 4 weeks straight because she fell and I had to go like urgently. She's doing fine,
Yeah.
but she's 91 and now I'm 64. And now, hearing the last person talk about the relationship with your mom, man, it's so powerful and it's like when I'm with her is like I'm again like 8 years old, 10 years old. She has all the power, and but what helped me most to be with her because it's always been difficult was she's 91, so she has Parkinson's and some mild dementia. But what helped me the most was my own grandmother had Alzheimer's, and when she was going through the period where she kind of started, not recognizing who you are, there was a social worker visiting her, and she said something like, as we age and we have dementia, it's like we are on a sea of confusion with islands of lucidity. And it was so beautiful.
Yeah, can I say repeat that? A sea of confusion with
Confusion,
islands.
islands of lucidity.
I love that.
So I remember that because for me it's very difficult to say with my mom. But remember that was like an anchor for me to be able to stay with her and actually find those islands of lucidity. And really you know for many years I had not really felt that love for her, and being able to have
Yeah.
those belly laughs. And
Yeah.
I remember who she was, and I used to give a lot of credit to my dad, like I wanted to be like him because he's a physician, he's very calm. My mom was quite the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was able to really see so clearly how, all the values and all the things that she actually has given me. So
That's
doing this
beautiful.
exercise today was beautiful to actually see me, my younger self, and my
Yeah.
relationship with her, and how beautiful was this month to be able to actually heal. But it's a process that never really ends. So but thank you. I really want
Thank
to
you.
thank
And
you.
that's so true. It's
Yes.
good to hear you bringing it to that, to our
Mhm.
relationship with the older generation too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
I
you.
always appreciate your words of wisdom because you are a psychiatrist and it helps me. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Magali.
Yeah. And Rish, hi, how are you?
Hi, Magali. I am
Hi.
doing good. Thank you.
Great. I'm
Um,
gonna try
been
to
a
share you here. Hold on. There we go. Hi.
yeah, it's been a minute.
It
Um,
has. I feel like today I'm getting to see all these old friends. I love it.
yeah, yeah. Mondays don't quite work for me
Yeah.
for some
Well, I've
reasons.
changed. I'm doing
Yeah,
Sundays now at 10. I've
yeah. This is great.
switched.
I'm gonna be here more often now.
Great.
Um, so yeah, I mean, what came up for me was the only boundary I struggled to deal with. Oh, rather, the boundary that I'm struggling to deal with recently is I'm uh, tutoring my daughter with maths and English sometimes, and I just lose it sometimes. Like, well, this is so simple. You've done this, you know this, and still you're making the same mistake. And I lose my temper. And I always, as soon as I lose it, I'm like, oh, no, oh, I didn't, like, poor little thing. Like, she's 9 years old, and me sort of getting angry and shouting. It's just not.
Right,
It doesn't
right,
help. I know it doesn't help, but still, it
right,
happens
right.
more often than not. So, like, when you said this about like leading with the body, it made me think that if I get angry, maybe I can just go, some sort of
Well, if that's
physical
a one-up position, because it sounds like how could you not get this? You're above the person. See what it's like to
kind of.
literally imagine doing that and bring yourself back to center. I respect
Yeah.
my daughter. I respect myself. We can take a 5-minute break. Sometimes the teacher needs a break.
Yeah.
The teacher
Yeah.
needs to.
Yeah.
I remember teaching my kids, talk about frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
get
know.
it.
It's like,
It's hard. So we need a break. We need to move our body and take a break. The other suggestion you might want to try is a little bit of play therapy with her, where you say to her at a time when you're not doing the tutoring, you say, I want you to know, because as human beings, we all do this. Sometimes I lose my patience. And I say these things I don't mean, they're not good to say. And so will
Mm.
you pretend a game with me? You pretend to lose your patience with me and then come back to your center. And I'll pretend to lose my patience and come back to my center and make it a game where you're both learning that skill.
That's brilliant. I like that.
Yeah.
Because she also has these moments sometimes where she's just like not listening, just angry, 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 tears, and
Yeah.
it just gets worse and worse and worse
Yeah, and so
rather than
that's
yeah.
normal, right? That's normal for a kid. Normal for
Mm,
we're all normal. We all get dysregulated sometimes, but learning that
mm,
skill in that pretend environment, then you can remind her too. So right now, honey, it's that time to get back to our center. Let's take a little walk, breathe. You can get out of this. And you're giving her actually a more important skill than the math.
mm.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even in those sort of moments when she feels that she doesn't know something, she can panic and she can quickly just go into this place of go into this dark place where she would pretty much just get everything wrong because of
Of stress.
being in that energy, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
being in that stress. So definitely, yeah, that
Yeah.
regulation is good. So the idea is to when she's calm, when we're just having
Hang
some fun, going for a
Yeah.
walk, hanging out, whatever, to just literally bring that
As a game. As a
as a
game.
game, bring that sort of
Yeah. Say,
almost harrowing experience back to life, saying that, well, when that happened and it was pretty tough, let's try to
let's pretend.
train, let's pretend, let's
Yeah,
play,
and
let's role
you
play.
could have her pretend to be you, and you could pretend to
Yeah,
be
that
her.
she'd enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole goal is just to be able to take that break, have self-respect, maybe make the bubble or not, but just breathe and move and get that healthy break so we can come back. You can return
Mm.
to your patient self. She can return to her concentration. Yeah.
Neither of those two things are true, by the way. Like, I am not very patient and she can't concentrate. So, so
But you have a patient self in there, and she has
yes,
concentration
yes,
in there. Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
she
you
can
for,
concentrate when she wants to. Definitely, that's
you
for
know what I
sure.
always say about my adult kids in their 20s that there are moments when all of them get parentitis. And parentitis,
Okay.
and this is this, your daughter's too young at 9, but when they get older, our our parents, I know you have healthy and deep relationships with your parents too. But
No, I don't.
well, I mean, you shared with me before about your mom and your compassion and,
With my mom, yeah, not
yeah,
with my
yeah,
dad.
not with your dad. But, like I guess this is a little more related to what Anna Maria was sharing, but and to Amy before, but we can all sort of acknowledge and respect that other person, whether it's a parent or a child, that they just because they're a human being deserve respect at some level. And I'm not talking about an abusive person, but most people. And just like we deserve respect. And that brings us back into a relational framework where we're we're both valuable. And that sometimes lets us just come to center when we just that's like my go-to is the respect piece. Like,
Mm. Everyone's doing the best that they can, after all.
everyone, yeah, yeah, we're all learning. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Likewise.
All right, guys. Well, I hope everyone is having a good day or evening. And oh, Anastasia, hi. I was about to say goodbye, but I have to say hi to Anastasia. How are you?
Hello. Can you
Hello.
hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah. I was outside before. I was not sure. Now I found this quiet spot and I was like, okay, I want to say something.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was so nice way to lead it with kind of going from inward instead of going from outward and analyzing. It
Mm-hmm.
was pretty cool to feel it. And you actually made me realize something about myself in the start when you told like, where do you go when you get triggered? And okay, I maybe remembered maybe some extreme cases, but I remembered of going like along. If there is something of dangerous things, I would kind of go along to avoid danger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
relational
Go
danger, but
along with
like,
what was happening to avoid danger.
yes, kind of go along, kind of pretend in a way that like
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
fine with what's going on, but then
Yeah.
somehow escape whatever's
Yes.
happening. But then it's like in the big instances, but in small instances, I think I would also assume that if, like, I always sort of assume that things, if they get outside of control, or let's say, I've been subject to a lot of both mental and physical violence, and then I always sort of assume, what if I have to say yes or no, I always run sort of program back in my mind. And how would I say it? And normally I don't say directly. And then I would say like a little like this. And my ex-husband was always furious about it. Like, why don't you say directly what you mean? Can't you just say what you mean? I'm like, no, because your reactions feel scary to me and I cannot say directly to you. And
Right. That's a huge breakthrough to understand that you needed to edit yourself, it seems.
yes. And then now when I was thinking like, okay, what could be my different way of behaving? I mean, saying no with compassion is one thing. Like putting myself in the shoes of other person and maybe like have a little prelude explaining, okay, I understand how you feel, but this is how I feel. But then, of course, also some things that I wrote in my notes, if I see any sense of drama, I would just get the hell out, step away, and even not touch it, so that it doesn't necessary. I don't need to put any boundaries, you know?
Right, because you've already protected yourself.
Yes,
I mean, you're
protected by
talking
distance.
about a situation that's volatile, that the healthiest thing,
Yes.
the boundary is to remove yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Because before I used to probably be too patient, too flexible. And then entering my 40s, I feel like, fuck it, I don't want to be too flexible, too patient. I just want to have my peace and, sorry for
Yeah,
my
and
language.
protect what you value. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. Life is too short.
life is too short. But it was very interesting to notice that my default game was, I mean, it was not phoning, but it was extreme phoning.
Uh-huh.
Like really playing along when
Yeah.
I don't mean it, and then slowly like moonwalking away.
Right, right. And that's a protective
It
pattern.
was
You
pretty saving me.
you needed to learn to do that at some point.
Yeah, and it was
So,
helpful. It was
yeah.
saving
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
quite a
So that
lot. But then,
conversation with the inner part of you, the child part that needed to make those decisions,
yeah,
that might be very healing now to talk to that part of you and let them know you know so much now.
yes, and I
You're a
did. And
PhD, Anastasia. You know a lot. Own it
yeah,
and let that inner child be reassured, you know?
I did. I talked to my inner child now during this session, and I cried, and I felt like, oh my God, that sucked so bad what you went through. But like, come on, I'm not going to put you through any more drama. Like, it's gonna be like just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
chill and fine, and you don't need to sort of go through things in a way.
Yeah, I
But
love
I
that.
felt it like on my body. I felt it so physical. Like it was like, oh,
Oh,
like I
well,
don't know. It's
I'm
difficult to
really
express.
grateful for you sharing right now because I think you're bringing this other dimension in that is, again, this could be another workshop. That when that self-respect comes in for not wanting drama,
Yeah.
that's a very, I don't know, for me it has a felt experience of a kind of boundary that is really important and it's more about our own well-being, our own emotional state. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
You're
next
making me
level kind of.
you're having ideas start brewing, so maybe we can talk again. I would
Yeah.
definitely love you to be part of that workshop. So, um
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for being here and
Thank you for this workshop.
Good
It
to
really made
to
me
see you.
feel connect.
Yeah, it's good to
You
see you
too.
and out in the world too. It
Now,
looks like you're out in the world. I don't know where you are.
in the world, I moved temporarily to Spain, to Gran Canaria.
Oh, wait, I didn't hear that all the way.
Spain to Gran Canaria.
Oh, great, in Spain. Wow, and it's night there.
Right now it's night, yeah.
Night.
But
I
I
love
believe
that.
somebody from the crew from Coaching Institute was also from Gran Canaria or not?
I
I
think
missed it.
Charlene maybe lives there. I'll write to me and I'll find out and connect you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm enjoying so much. It's like a different world here.
Thank you. Be
Thank
well.
you.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
You
Yeah.
too. You know.
And John. Hi, John. How are you? I just asked you to unmute there. Great.
I'm doing fine, and thank you. This was great.
Thank you.
Sundays worked a lot nicer,
Yes.
and so thank you. That's all I really wanted to say is thank you very much.
Oh, well, good to see you. I don't know if we've talked before, but thank you for being here. Yeah.
You're
Take
welcome.
care. Yeah. And guys, everyone who's still here, thank you for hanging in there. And if you're here later on in the replay on YouTube, write a note to us. Tell us how the experience was for you. And of course, as you have to say on YouTube, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I hope that you can come again to these Sunday workshops or meditations. I'm going to kind of be taking turns. One Sunday doing meditation group, and then the next Sunday doing more of a coaching group or a topic, a workshop topic that's exploring at different levels the meditation as part of it, but also the growth and the relationship work, all of that coming together. So be well. I hope you can be really kind to yourself today or tonight, and we will be again together again soon. Take care. Bye.